who he is and what it is that God has blessed him to do. Mr. Jim, how are you?
I am fine. I'm not sure I trust your eyesight. Calling me young, that's a far stretch in the past.
You know, you are young. Don't for 1 minute believe that you're not young. I want you to make sure that you speak up just a little bit so we can make sure that we hear you clearly. But
All right.
welcome to the GMAP Broadcast Network. Of course, for those of you that are watching, we have Jim as one of our features on our broadcast network site. But I'm not going to say anything about that yet. Jim, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to come into the fold. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're from.
I am Jim Sanderson. I am originally from San Antonio, Texas. I now live in Beaumont, Texas. I am here to promote writing, but that's not how I eat. I eat by teaching English, and I'm a chair at Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas.
Wow. Well, I am grateful that have accepted the invitation, allowing us here at the GMAP Broadcast Network to be a part of your journey. Now, I know that God has blessed you tremendously with what it is that you're doing personally and publicly these days. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this awesome new publication that you have been able to release and disseminate to the people?
Well, I actually have, well, really three things. Uh, the first and most recent is Gamble Dreams. That is depending upon how you want to label me or my book, a noir mystery slash thriller set in Odessa, Texas in the 1980s. I've also had Brash Books. I'm a walking advertisement for Brash Books. You can see that. And they republish classic mysteries and some original mysteries. And so they have just republished Safe Delivery. It was first published exactly 20 years ago. And they've also then combined the three novels in a series, El Camino del Rio, La Mordida, and Safe Delivery, into one ebook with all three volumes. And then there's another part of that series, All's team, hanging out there also, mostly on the internet.
Wow. Well, I know that there's going to be a lot of individuals that's going to, I guess you can say, question what it is that, let's talk first and foremost about gambled dreams. There's going to be a lot of people talk about that. And of course, I'm going to be showing that on the screen in just a few minutes. But tell us a little bit more intimately, more in detail about what it is that that particular publication is all about.
Uh, I was in Odessa, Texas in the early 80s, and it was right at the height of an oil boom. And then I saw the boom bust and go away. And then I took those memories as sifted through my mind now and used that as the backdrop. And it's the backdrop to a story about the murder of a gay man who cruises around at night to pick up potential lovers, and he's killed. His mother doesn't want anyone to know this, so she doesn't want the police looking, so she goes to the criminals. The protagonist is a bouncer for a guy that runs gambling, illegal gambling. The exact time is during the Odessa oil show when the whole town is crowded with prostitution, drinking, and gambling. And so Colton, this guy's bouncer, solicits a former madam, and they then investigate the crime and find the killers. The novel, like a lot of my novels, seemingly ends about two-thirds of the way through it, but then it picks up again. This time it picks up with Colton's son, Mondo, and Mondo pays for his father's sins or crimes, so to speak, some 25 to 30 years later.
Wow. Well, I'm excited once again. For those that don't know, of course, Jim is one of our featured authors on the GMAP Broadcast Network. You are always welcome to stop by gmap1.com. Click on the tab that simply says bookstore. You will see a copy of the current cover that I'm showing on our split screen on the GMAP Broadcast Network, once again titled Gamble Dreams. You can click on that cover. It will take you to the necessary location to find out more detailed information, intimate information about the publication, about the author, and how you can, in fact, reach out, show your love, care, concern, and support for this awesome, awesome young man and the things that God has truly blessed him with. Now, of course, there is another publication that we would love to discuss, and it's titled Safe Delivery. Why don't you break down and tell us a little bit about that one, if you don't mind?
Safe Delivery has an unusual history. It started out as a screenplay, so I converted it to a novel, and then I changed the protagonist of that from a man to a woman, and then I cut out all the other characters. So what remains is the story of Jerry Johnson, and she is a sort of a bounty hunter for a Bell's bondsman in San Antonio, Texas. And she is doing her job when a past lover comes in to see her. The lover's kind of shady. He deserted her before, but this time he wants her to help him buy and smuggle guns to Mexico. And she debates just exactly what to do. In the meantime, trailing him and thus getting to know her is a widowed Texas Ranger. He's older and he suspects this guy, and so he's just hanging out. So you have the three of them reacting with each other and not knowing if they can trust the other or if they're going to be betrayed once again or how they're going to approach this other character or what they're even going to do.
Wow. Well, oh my goodness. I know that this is definitely going to be some exciting reads for our viewers and listeners. And again, we encourage all of you to show your love, care, concern, and support. Now, I know that there are some questions concerning how is it that people will be allowed and able to reach out and show their support and maybe purchase a copy, whether it be a signed copy, whether it be a download, whether it be an order. How is it, and what's the process for them to receive a copy of one of your current publications, or even all of them?
Uh, Probably the easiest thing to do is just to go to Amazon or Barnes and Noble, maybe Kobu. You can get there by going through Goodreads if you're a member of Goodreads. And I believe all of my books are available in paperbacks. Maybe just one is hardback, but there's a paperback version and there's also ebooks. And so I believe they're free if you're Amazon Prime. So that's the easiest way to do it. Uh, since I have small publishers, not many bookstores carry them, but they are available online.
Hmm. Now, I know that you have been blessing people with your publications for a little while, but you need to understand, as well as I do, that we are role models to someone, whether we like it or not. And there's always individuals on the outside looking in, kind of paying attention to our every walk, our journey. If one of those individuals were to walk up and tap you on the shoulder today and say, "We appreciate what you've done over the years, we appreciate the publications, but what's next for Jim Sanders?" What would your response be?
Well, I've always got something in mind, and I don't know that anything will come of this. I started one project, and that project was to write about where I grew up, the south side of San Antonio, and money laundering. I don't want to give away the plot too much yet, but then into my lap was a phone call, and it was a former uh, state senator from the state of Texas, from the area that I presently live in. And he has put together a whole bunch of notes on his some 35-year public service as both a state representative and a state senator. And so I'm trying to get his material and work with him to get his memoir put together and done and hopefully find a market or readers for it.
Well, I know that you are in a position to go ahead and just claim your victory. I know you don't want to give away too much on that, but I know that it's something that can and will come to pass. We again thank God for your presence here. We thank God for you allowing us to be a part of your journey. Now, I also know that there are many people out there who would love to get, I guess you can say, on track to do what it is that they have been blessed to do. And maybe they're considering writing their own book, trying to figure out what direction to go, who to talk to. What words of encouragement would you have to share with those young authors that may want to consider getting on track to their journey and doing some of the things that you have been blessed to do?
Uh, I'll quote John Gardner, who taught writing and was a great writer back in the 80s, and he wrote a book on for young writers on how to get started. Just as you said, his first sentence was "marry well." Uh, but for people who want to do it, I think you almost have to take the idea that you're going to make money out of the spectrum. Uh, I don't. I can give some technical advice. I actually teach a course and with some of that business advice. For me, as a writer, if someone asked me how I started, I think that way back when I was a kid, I played, and I liked to play cowboys and Indians. I liked to play soldiers. I even liked to play Revolutionary War and Patriots or something. And so I would do so, but I always had this sense that I had to play right. So I read history, and so I had to see what guns were used, how did they dress, what did they carry with them, what did they eat, and so that made me sort of an annoyance to the other kids because they wanted to mix things and they didn't like to play by the rules. So I played mainly by myself. And so I was isolated. So, in the sense, I think that becomes writing. And so I like to play. That's the pleasurable part. But you got to put in the homework and do the research to play right by the rules. And then you also have to usually do it alone. So it's a kind of a combination of what you simply like to do way down deep inside, then having some discipline, and then also putting your butt in the seat of the chair and trying to get it done.
Well, I definitely can relate to that one. You know, sometimes we have to do, and that logo and that slogan that Nike put out many years ago, titled "Just Do It." A lot of times we have to simply just, run and jump in the pool instead of walking up and sticking our toe in. So I can relate to that. Now, let's just say there are some viewers and listeners out there today who would love to reach out to you on a more personal level, intimate level, and kind of, ask for your guidance or some of the resources that you may have used. What's the process if someone wanted to connect with you on a more personable level?
Probably the easiest way would be to look for my web page. I've also got a Facebook page, and you could probably even get a hold of me through Amazon or such. I mean, Goodreads. I know Goodreads has friends and messages, so there's ways to find me. It sometimes scares me a little in that this technological world, how easily you can find someone. But I am accessible out there.
Amen. And of course, we don't want them to forget about little old GMAP Broadcast Network down here in the lower left hand corner of everything in small print. Of course, again, we encourage our viewers and listeners to stop by our broadcast network platform, again, located at gmap1.com. Simply click on the bookstore. And of course, many of you that are watching our television screen at this time, you see a copy of both of the publications that we have already discussed here, Gambling Dreams as well as Safe Delivery. You can click on either one of those books because they are both posted there, and it will take you to the necessary location in order to find out more intimate details and or information about those publications, as well as the author, Jim Sanderson. And of course, Jim, I know that there are some wonderful people that, as you said before, sometimes you got to get in your own little world and your own little still corner, do things on a more solo basis. But out of all honesty, there's always someone that, sort of helps, encourages, and guides you along the way. Who are some of the people that you had the chance to work with during the process of creating these publications?
Well, the people say, as I just said, you sit there in your solitary and you do the writing. But to get things published, I think you have to have a lot of friends and you make a lot of friends. And back to how to do it, uh, one piece of advice I'd give is don't be afraid to fail, because in the failure you might learn something, and that learning something might help you to do the next thing. Uh, I think any number of people have helped me. I won a contest for Pig Iron Press way back in 1992. And so Pig Iron Press graciously published a collection of short stories. Then won the Frank Waters Award, and both Frank Waters was a great, tremendous writer, and the judge was, uh, I'm sorry, Les Multima. Uh, and so I met both of those gentlemen. I met Frank Waters' widow, and then the University of Mexico published that novel. It was El Camino del Rio, and the very nice, wonderful editor at University of Mexico, Beth Haddis, then published Safe Delivery and La Mordida. Along the way, I had other people who would read me and offer to publish. I have several people who would review it. Several major newspapers would review my work if it came out, and I notified them, and I still have friends. Uh, it's an ongoing process because the publishing industry has changed so dramatically, and even in the last 5 years, that I, by the time I publish a book, I'm almost starting over. But I've already made friends at a variety of publications. The hat I have on, Brash Books, they're doing a marvelous job of bringing things that have been forgotten and just bringing them back out, as well as helping other mystery and crime writers. And so they're a great deal. Moonshine Cove Publications, which has published Gamble Dreams. If you Google them and look at them and go to their submission page, you'll see why I've submitted with them. They're very savvy about the industry and how it works. And so they're out there doing a good job. Uh, and by clicking on any of my books, by commenting on those books, because the world measures clicks, what you'll be doing is helping these small publishers as much as me, probably more so, because there's a lot of folks out there who are publishing people, helping writers, helping the written word, helping literature, helping genre in this country, and they're doing on a shoestring budget, and so they need all the help they can get, and in turn, they then help me.
Wow. Amen. I can definitely agree with that one. And of course, we want to again publicly and personally thank God for you and thank you for allowing us, little old GMAP Broadcast Network, to be a part of the journey and continue to disseminate the information and the publications that you have available for the people. And of course, we simply openly, Jim, we thank you. We want to continue to allow our presence to be present during your journey. And if there's anything that we can do to continue to assist you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, we just want you to know that the answer is always yes, and you will never have to ask us twice. Now, for those of you that are loving what it is that you're hearing and you want to share this conversation with others, just to give them a word of encouragement, of course, this conversation will be posted on our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page. And we will be also airing it on our weekly Comcast cable program, which airs every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Comcast cable throughout the Lake County area. Also, Roku, Fire TV. And if you need more details about that, you're more than welcome to contact me. I am like Jim. You can always reach me because I'm so out there. Social media, website, email, phone number, whatever it is that you need in order to reach out and connect with us, we are more than willing to receive that connection. And Jim, we simply cannot thank you enough. We thank God for your presence. We thank God for you taking time out of your busy schedule, outside of your writing, of course, to hang out with us here on the GMAP Broadcast Network, once again located at gmap1.com. We want you to remember to continue to produce and provide our viewers and listeners with this awesome, entertaining publications that you have. And let us know what it is that you're doing so we can assist you in helping get that information out there into the eyes and the ears of the people so that they too can show their love, care, concern, and support for what it is that you have been blessed to do. We thank God for you. And before we let you go, I want to move over and just simply allow you to have your closing remarks as we prepare to move forward and do whatever it is that God has in store for us to do here on the GMAP Broadcast Network. So I'm going to move over and allow you to have your closing remarks as we prepare to move on with more great music, programming, and videos here on the GMAP Broadcast Network. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you. I'm sure you will hear from me again because I'm anticipating do more work. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for spreading beyond your usual audience and letting me appear. So that I certainly appreciate that, and I will let others know. I will try to do my own meager advertising. And if anyone would like to try to contact me, please feel free. If you do read something and you want to comment about it, please do comment. Even if it's bad, even if you tell me to stop writing, then I'd appreciate that. So anything that I could help with, or if anyone has some advice or would like some, I could try that also. So thank you for having me, and I hope no one was bored.
Aha, no one was bored. I guarantee you that. And of course, when you guys visit locations like Amazon, we do encourage leaving any form of review. Let Amazon as well as the author know what it is you think, how you feel about what it is that they have provided for you, whether it be music, whether it be publications. Leave a review. Just tell them thank you, if nothing else. And as Jim said, it always helps, and it is truly a blessing for you guys to show your love, care, concern, and support. Again, Jim, we thank God for you. We thank you for allowing us this time with you. And we look forward to working with you, continuously connecting with you, maintaining our presence on your journey, and continuing to be available to you in any way, shape, form, or fashion in the very near future. Until next time, we want you to continue to be blessed and be a blessing. You have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, and I shall be in touch with you soon, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you and take care.